Sampa did great. Um, Man, I have to say, out of all the albums we listened to this weekend, I think this one surprised me the most. Only because I think going into it, I wasn't sure exactly what I was hoping to get out of it. But as above, so below really just like impressed me with like the level of artistry and variety on here. And Sampa just sounds really great. And with a lot of these albums recently, I feel like I'm drawn more to the tracks where like the artist is collaborating with somebody, and certainly there's a few tracks on here where Sampa is collaborating that really stand out. But I feel like when Sampa is like on her own, like a song like Low Rain or Bona, I was really like really impressed. I guess Low Rain she does have Wanje on there, but like more so I think just singing the track, the hook. But Bona really like stood out to me as like, Sampa's got something here. So I was really impressed with that. What was your overall takeaway as above, so below?
Yeah, I think that's spot on. Sampa the Great, not to be confused with the great R&B singer Sampha, uh,
Well done.
Zambian rapper slash singer who's now based in Australia after spending some time studying in the U.S. as well. One of the most celebrated artists out of Australia the last few years. Hasn't made a big name over in the States, but has won the Australian Music Prize twice, I believe. And this is her second record, second album, first since 2019, I believe. And yeah, I think it's one of those albums that at times I think it's a little dense, a little filled up with things going on, but on the other hand, those things are all like really specific, right? It's like all this like range of instrumentation on the songs, or like really intentional use of background vocals that are trying to give you that Zambian vibe.
Hmm.
Literally, they're Zambian singers. It's like there's, I think, a lot of touch and a lot of intention on this album, and I found that there were times where I was probably just kind of respecting the craft and the art more than I was necessarily enjoying all the songs. Um, I do agree on Bona, though. I think
Yeah.
that one is really awesome, and I'll have to say, Sampa the Great's delivery on that track reminded me of someone I hold in very high esteem, which would be Little Sims. I think the rapping
Mm,
on that's very
yeah.
familiar,
Great call.
and I think there's some really fun touches on here, but there are other times too where like I just got a little bit lost, and I think the track list. I don't know if it all came together totally for me, but I mean, man, there was a lot of thought put into this record, no question.
Yeah, it's certainly layered, and she really switches her style up. Like Bona, I think like you just alluded to, like going straight rap and really delivering. And there's that switch up at like the minute 30 mark of the song where it like just goes to like this like I don't even know, I guess like the instrument I think it is like some sort of like piano tuned in some way, or maybe a synth, but like it's super unique and something I feel like we hear a lot, but I can't really put my finger on it. But that switch up is great, and she just rides on it the whole time. A few tracks earlier, you get a song like "Never Forget" with Chef 187, Tio Nason, and Wanje again, and I really loved that. That has like a true Zambian feel to it, and like Afrobeat sound, which I thought was really fun and brought a lot of energy. And then, like I mentioned, one of my favorite tracks later on is "Low Rain," which is like pretty straight like R&B. Like someone else we're going to talk about in a second, but she's just crushing this sound as well and crushing the singing on it. And it's like, man, her range on this is so impressive. Not only switching up genres, but switching up different influences and sounds so seamlessly. And while I didn't find myself like enjoying every single track or wanting to play every track back, I was just like, man, for what I went in expecting for this, she totally blew my expectations out of the water. So really pumped to see that. Any other songs that stood out to you, or any other moments on this?
Yeah, I'd say the vocals on, what is it? I don't give a fuck. IDGAF. those like background vocals on there really grabbed me. I like that one a lot. On Lane, yes, on Lane, Denzel Curry song. I
Mhm.
thought like the way Sampa herself was performing on that almost kind of gave me these like chanting vibes. I thought that was really really cool, really engaging. Um, and yeah, I mean, across this album, you'll hear multiple languages. I think
Mhm.
it's definitely something that would reward spending a lot of time. I think sinking in with it. So, be curious to see if Sampa the Great continues to, you know, spread her wings with other people. I mean, she does have Denzel Curry on here. She does have Joy Badass on here. Powers
Yep.
Pleasant made one of the beats. Like those are, Americans. So they're we'll see. I suppose because it sounds like she's uh, still based in Australia, but spent a lot of time back home in Namibia during the pandemic. So she's clearly trying to serve that sound from
Yeah.
her roots. So I wonder if that's still the case moving forward. She
Yeah,
clearly has the talent to do all kinds of stuff.
to speak to that, the last track, "Let Me Be Great," really reminded me of Burner Boy a bit. It has like this really triumphant feel, like a lot of the stuff off Twice as Tall in a
Mhm.
sense, and it brings in like the horns, and it has this like real African influence to the song, and it's just a really fun ender and brings so much energy. You kind of want to just like run everything back. So I'm really impressed to see with this, and I'm really interested to see what the next step is for her. So um, we're going to be adding a song from her to our Nostalgia Best of 2022 playlist, but highly recommend checking out the new Sampa album, As Above, So Below.